Welcome back to informational Metal Storm content from Iris Gaming. This is a follow-up to the Mirage F1 review video, focusing on practical applications via some gameplay commentary. We'll be looking at two replays. The first one is a 5v5 team deathmatch on Icebound, where my team wins, but I unintentionally showcase how not to fly the F1 effectively. The second is a 3v3 team deathmatch with 2 bots per side on Crimson Canyon that shows some better choices and a more effective playstyle. This video is a slightly different style of content from the previous heavily scripted videos. Please leave comments or suggestions about either type of video or any of the content in them, as well as subscribing to the channel. With that, we'll start with the Icebound match. Let's get into the first replay here. I picked this one because I'm actually showing a lot of times what not to do in the F1. Despite the fact that my team wins, I do not perform particularly well. We start off heading down low, going for cover, trying to get my Daredevil turning activated. But I head towards the center of the map here, which is a mistake. We're not playing air superiority, we're playing team deathmatch. I don't need to be in the middle here. There's an F5 there. I do a head-on. I kill it, but it also kills me. That was a trade I did not need to make. Try to respawn. Again, I'm heading back towards the middle. I see some aircraft coming in from the left side, including an F5. Also somebody in the middle. I can't decide which way to go. I see the missile locks coming and then the missiles, so I dive down to get terrain in there. And once again, I see a aircraft in front of me and give pursuit. This is actually reasonable. The F1 cannot get away from me. I grab the rearm and duck behind terrain again. So far, some good decisions, some bad decisions. Here's an F-106. This is another bad decision. He uses his disruptive flares correctly to reduce my cannon range, and his missiles hurt pretty badly. I lose the trade. I assume that that M3 is about to die, so I don't waste a missile. There's an F5, potentially out in the open, but I think I'm going to lose my firing solution, so I hold my missile. Now I duck down and come up through the tunnel to give myself a little bit of cover, get closer to the action without being exposed. Once again, there's an M3 there. I flare badly. There's the F-106 again. And that was just a bad place to be. 2 aircraft coming at me head on. Doesn't end well. There's a chance for revenge on the F-106 if I can get around the iceberg, and I do, but not before somebody else takes him out. That Typhoon there makes the turn in, so I fire, thinking that my missile will clear the rocks. It does. He flares it, somebody else gets him. There's an exposed F-100, F5. Flares my missile. I don't manage to finish him off. I dive for cover. Now I go up, around, trying to get the rearm, but the match is over. This match is only a 3v3 in terms of human players, which makes it a little bit easier, but also shows some much better decision making and utilizing of the F1 strengths on my part. We're on Crimson Canyon. I head to the left here because I do not want to be over in the open area on the right participating in the team versus team head-on. Instead, I want to come in from the side somewhere. I choose to go up high this time instead of through the tunnel. I'm looking for people after they've been in the big head-on or coming this way. The ADV doesn't use his missiles well, and I managed to win that head-on. That was lucky. Flares my missile, but there's really Nothing he can do about being caught in the middle of 3 aircraft. I see this M2000 coming and duck behind cover and air brake so that I can get close enough to get my cannon in rather than trying to get in a long-range trading battle with an M2000. It's effective. One of his buddies takes me out, though. Heading back in towards the fights again. Get picked up by the ADV. Don't flare it particularly well. Take a little damage. Use the terrain to get in closer again. Get taken out. Manage to take on the ADV. That was not so good decision making right there. I should have pulled around to the left and come in from cover. Respawning, diving down for cover and speed. I see the F-100 coming in from the left, but don't think it's worth using a missile on, especially when there's an F-4 much closer. Get one hit between the two of us. I assume my teammate will take him out. They do. There's 2 aircraft up here instead. The Mirage 2000 let me get behind him, and that's a mistake. Luckily, somebody else took out that tornado. I try and dodge and flare and succeed. You can see I'm using the terrain, my daredevil turning, to just weave around, come up, take out that F-14, who was maybe not paying attention there. Here I use my agility to grab the rearm without going onto the enemy's side of the map. Again, the M2000's coming in. I get behind them and it's all over. We are now at 19 kills. We just need one more. We can afford to play a little bit more aggressively. And the ADV goes down. Hopefully these 2 games helped show you some of the strengths and weaknesses of the F1 in real gameplay. Again, please leave any feedback about any of the videos up until now. As always, thanks for watching. If you found this content helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe to help the channel get off the ground. And until next time, fly well.